Welcome to the Constitutional Law Roundup for July 2025. I'm David Jolly, and I'll be focusing on 5 major constitutional law stories from this month, and I'll try to explain what they mean for the balance of power, free speech, equal protection, and the separation of powers. In Trump versus Casa organization, the Supreme Court upheld lower court limits on nationwide injunctions, ruling that federal judges may only block executive orders as to the parties before them, not sweeping bans for everyone. Now, this restricts the lower court's ability to halt executive policy broadly, reshaping separation of powers norms and narrowing the scope of judicial reach. Critics do warn that it could weaken federal checks on presidential powers. Meanwhile, the court also ruled separately that Trump's attempt to end birthright citizenship via executive order is, unconstitutional, a reaffirmation of the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause and due process protections. A federal judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking Mississippi's law banning diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in public schools and universities. The court held the law likely violates students' First Amendment rights and the 14th Amendment's equal protection principle, citing vague prohibitions on divisive concepts that chill academic freedom. The order stays in place pending further proceedings. In International Partners for Ethical Care versus Ferguson, the Ninth Circuit unanimously dismissed challenges to Washington's law permitting shelters to provide gender-affirming or reproductive health care to transgender youth without mandatory parental notification, overturning claims based on parental rights, free speech, or religion. Plaintiffs lacked legal standing since they had no immediate harm. The ruling affirms state autonomy in protecting vulnerable youth while upholding constitutional protections. In Free Speech Coalition versus Paxton, the Supreme Court upheld Texas's law requiring online pornography websites to verify viewers' ages under intermediate scrutiny. The court found the law burdens adult speech only incidentally and thus survives constitutional muster. This decision clarifies how the First Amendment applies to online speech and age-restricted access, a notable ruling in digital free speech jurisprudence. The Supreme Court's 2024-25 term featured several emergency or shadow docket rulings favoring executive policies, such as limiting nationwide injunctions and endorsing immigration and LGBTQ-related restrictions. Critics argue such decisions sidestep due process and transparency, deepening concerns over court legitimacy and conservative alignment. All right, this month, courts sharpened constitutional boundaries, curbing judicial overreach and nationwide injunctions, reinforcing citizenship protections, affirming First Amendment limits on state-banned DEI policies, and charting rules for online regulation of adult content. Some rulings expanded executive authority, others upheld individual liberties. Constitutional debates in July reflect the tension, as always, between institutional power and individual rights. Until next month, have a good one.